Welcome. You are with the Skeinz Diaries. It is Marie, episode 265. What is the day? Thursday, 27th of July. Welcome along, everybody. And yes, you may have noticed we threw a sale in the mix. You know, that's what happens when you decide to do something at midday yesterday and you throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Pretty crazy, right? I'm going to dive into some of the stuff that's in that sale and why we're doing it. I'll just let you guys roll on in. And as you can see, I'm all rugged up again. It has been freezing, absolutely freezing here the last sort of 24 hours or so. So I've even busted out a mohair sweater, and I can tell you this sweater, well, it must be 18 years old. It predates me. I bought the yarn from the Knitters Factory shop, which is the original Skeinz's original thing. What's what we were before we were Skeinz, and it was before I worked here, so it predates my employment with Skeinz, which is a long, long time. And I saw it this morning sitting on the top of the wardrobe, and I thought, it's a mohair, it's a brushed mohair kind of day. It is. It's just so crazy. Good morning, everybody. So come on in. Welcome on in, and I'm fill you in on what's been going on. So yeah, it is super cold here. I even got a text from the BFF in Auckland. They'd had 2 hailstorms by 9 in the morning where he lived out west. So it's cold everywhere. Cold, and it's winter, isn't it? It is we've had a proper winter this year, I can tell you. Snow even on the low hills. Now, I'm going to keep it short because we've got a shop full of people and they need the second computer, because I'm talking to you on the computer that's also the till, so I need to make it quick. So if you haven't already noticed, we've got a little bit of a Midwinter Stitchmas sale going on. Now, how that's come about is that the mill contacted us, so what was it? Yeah, Wednesday morning, and said, look, we've been able to process stock through much faster than we expected. We have all the stock to come in, which is exciting because I love new ranges and new stock. We knew stuff was coming. We were expecting it closer to Knit August Nights, but no, voila, it is ready now. So that's great. The problem is we don't know where to put it here in our warehouse, and they want to get it out of their warehouse around the corner theirs. So Claire and I sat down yesterday in the middle of the day and had a look at all the different little bits and pieces that we've got left. And we thought, right, warehouse clearance, that's it. Let's do it. Go on, because we need to make the space. So obviously, vintage, we have been having that price reduction with the Vintage Abroad, and that is because Vintage Abroad was yarn that we did in a joint venture with another mill offshore, because we didn't have capacity post-COVID here. We now have that capacity, so we're going to bring vintage back home to its little heart, and so we're going to clear the last of the Vintage Abroad. All of what is remaining is now being dropped to $2 a ball, which in anybody's money is good buying, right? It's great yarn. It's 10 ply online. We do have a few last little bits and pieces of DK here left in the shop. And in fact, here in store, we've got lots and lots and lots of little treasures here in store of lots of little few bits and pieces which have all been marked down. And we don't have enough on to be online. So so the Indicita alpaca, the last of what we had online, has now sold through, and we've only just got a few handfuls of balls remaining here in stock in store. There's a whole bunch of little quirky bits and pieces. So I've got a shop full of people out there, so they've got the memo and they're checking it all out. So that's what's happened. So the vintage is now $2 a ball. I put up this little guy this morning, which is a black organic merino. It went through the dyeing process, and because it's such fine merino, it went through and I'm going to be struggling to find it on this ball. It went through the dyeing process, and what can sometimes happen is that with finer merinos, it gets caught on the bar and you get a little bit of felting. I can't even find a felty spot on this one, but it meant that the entire dye batch got rejected. And so we've got it through its seconds, and we thought, right, we're not going to muck around with this. Rugby World Cup's coming up, and might need to do some supporter knitting. So black organic merino DK, $2 a ball. You're not going to see that price anywhere else. And once it's gone, it's gone. Single batch. There are little, I was trying to find you a little felty bit, and I can't because this one, I can't, not obvious on this one. But there are little bits that just where the yarn, so it's not slubby, it's just a little bit felty and it might be a wee bit fluffy. But we can't sell that as first grade yarn. So that's on there. It's called Blackjack. So do make sure you pick up that one. We also have Ashford scarf kits. We had a whole bunch of these that we got in for Christmas, and we're just clearing out the surplus because they're taking up a cupboard that we need. So those are all going out at $13 each. We've got the last of the batch, 12 ply. There's only a couple of colours left, $5 for a 100 gram ball. So you need to be quick with those because they'll be gone anytime now. We've also got, I think the Merino Soft Seaside might have already gone. I am going to be moving over. Claire and I have identified several things that we can move over into the sale page once I'm all done here. So do keep checking back. You're going to be panning for gold, people. There's some real nuggets in there. So there could be some things left over from the Polworth pack sale. Now that they've gone through and done the last of those were picked and packed today, so we know where we're at with stock and what's left. We do have some of those Polworth packs in the store that never went online, so there are some of those Polworth packs left in store if you want them, and there could be a few that pop back up online today. So look out for those. There's also some super chunky that we're just going to quickly stock check, and that could end up at a really sharp price. So if you've been wanting to do some super chunky knitting, keep an eye out for that. And we've also got some new stock. So this is stuff that was supposed to be spun and was supposed to be ready for us for Epic Sale, but of course the Gabby happened and it didn't happen for us. So those are the colours there. There are 5 colours. Don't they look very Midwinter, Stitchmasy, festive colours? 5 colours. We have them in both DK and 4-ply. All 5 colours, DK and 4-ply. And it is a recycled blend, predominantly Merino Polworth and possum, 10% possum. So it was a recycled blend that we'd done, we'd done a small batch just for us for Epic Sale. And of course, the Gab. So that's now come through. So we have put this out at the Epic Sale price, so the price that it was going to go out at the Epic Sale. So normally a yarn like this, so this would be an equivalent, very equivalent to Sock Mortician, very, very similar, a slightly different blend than what we would normally do there. It's merino alpaca, merino Polworth based as opposed to merino Polworth. There's more alpaca in the Sock Mortician, but there is the possum content. The count is identical. So if you've got Sock Mortician and you're wanting to work this in with it, it will work seamlessly because the counts are identical. And so normally this yarn, we would retail this at $9.95. It is going out at $6. This is a merino possum yarn. It's because we've recycled the fibres that we can do it. Once it's gone, it's gone. We're not repeating it, as I said, because we had those fibres together and ready. And it was literally the spinning. It was actually spun, thank goodness, just before Gabby hit. So the spinning had been done, but we couldn't dye it because in fact, our dye house was closed for 3 months. So because of the after effects of the Gabby. But it's all right, we're there now. So this is now up. So this is first grade premium yarn left over from Epic Sale. So $6 a ball. You definitely want to get that in stash. It is gorgeous. And it will work seamlessly with any of the other Sock Mortician yarns. So if you want a lighter contrast, grab some milk. You can use that with those solids. And of course, we don't have a lot of solids in Sock Mortician. They're all monos. So I wouldn't dally around on those. The Skeinz tweed is nearly gone. I think it's only Cantaloupe left online with a few tiddlers left here in the shop. What else is lurking around? Oh, this. The Argenti. This is gorgeous. This is utterly, utterly gorgeous. So this is what our blankets are made from. It is a brush mode here, but kid. So it is really soft. So if you've had a hankering to do any of those petite knit designs or something like this, I can tell you this is actually just a very, very basic sweater, drop-shouldered sweater design in 12 ply that I'd pulled out from somewhere, and I put the rolled neck on it because it just had a ribbed neck, and I just did the rolled neck. So if you've got a 10 or 12 ply pattern rolling around, we've called this DK. You could get away with the DK, but I think a 10 ply, something on a 4.5 millimeter needle works really well with this. So if you've got anything like that, 4.5, 5 millimeter needle, sort of standard type jumper, replace it with the fluff and you get something like this. Example, this is my oatmeal from Libby, which is actually done on a 4.5 millimeter needle. You can do this. This is in the vintage Persian green, which I think is still available. It's got that big, deep V in it, that lovely big, deep V neck, which not everybody likes. But here's the thing. You can knit this in this and then pick those V-neck stitches up there and actually just put a big rolled collar on it and make it a big feature. And so double duty, your patterns. Don't be buying a new pattern if you've already got this in your pattern stash. Or if you've got the vintage 10 ply and you need a pattern, this is perfect for it. So that's our shop sample. The other yarn that is flying out the door, and it's not discontinued, so don't panic. The only reason we've put it on in the sale is that we've got a second batch that's been spun because they had the fibre there to spin it. And usually we don't have these batches back to back. We have to wait for more fibre to accumulate. It's another recycled blend, but they have more fibre. So they've gone and done a second batch, which means that we've got to make room for that batch, and I think we're going to possibly add some new colours in. And this is on the Cove, the gorgeous Cove. That's the Spanish Bay, which is my favourite colour in the range. 4 ply and DK, utterly gorgeous, dark. Here is I think this is just the no frill sweater, petite knits, which we've done. There you go. Look at that. Oh, gorge. I've done my love note, as you know, in this yarn, and I adore it. I love it. It's a fabulous yarn. It really is. It belies its price because, again, recycled, we pass the costs on. It's quite alpaca predominant, so it's very, very soft. So that is going out at $3 a ball, which is an absolute freaking steal. We've already sold out of a few colours of the DK, but all the 4 plays are still there, and I would definitely stock up on that before the new range comes in. Robin, can't get the order to be accepted. Right, Robin. So what you need to do is, what will happen is that if you haven't restarted your device before checking out the sale, there's been so much activity sitting on the site that what they call the little tokens or cookies that bounce between the sites to update them haven't had a chance to update, right? So you may see it on the homepage, you'll go and do the checkout, and then it'll disappear from your cart and you'll think, where's it gone? And it's because once it's sent a token across to update that page, that yarn's actually sold out, and it may have already have been sold out because your browser history hadn't updated the fact that it was gone. So it's quite common. It's with e-commerce sites, there's not a lot we can do about it. The number one surefire way to fix this, Robin, is you need to completely power down your device. So I'm not just talking to turning the browser off and then going back in. You need to power down the device, like literally close everything out, go and shut down. And that will purge all of that browser history and all those little digital breadcrumbs that bounce around between all the sites. It will just clear all of those. So when you restart back up and you go back in, it will be completely fresh of what is there currently. And it's really, and trust me, this fixes it 99.9% of the time. And then start again. The other thing you can do if you don't want to do that is you can actually, if you're using one browser, you can then jump over and use a different browser. So if you're using Edge browser, you can shift to Chrome. If you're using Chrome, you can shift to Edge or Brave or whatever else your browser is. So you can do that. We do know that we often have more issues with Chrome than we do with Edge, and that's only because with Chrome, Chrome has all these little extra bells and whistles often built in with memory to help make your browsing seamless and nice and quick and easy and wonderful. The downside with that, of course, is when we make changes at our end, those tokens and information don't always transport as seamlessly, especially if you're running off an older version. Sounds all really techie speak, and it sounds like that I know what I'm talking about, but I do, but I don't. I don't know what all of that means, but I definitely know the good old fashioned completely turn the device off and power it down, and then restart it again is your surefire way of get that working. Very good. So I'm going to keep going because the shop's full and I need to put this till back. But do keep having it. I might flick out a little thing on social media to say if there's been some updates. Claire and I are going to work on those this afternoon. The sale essentially is running through to the end of Sunday or until while stocks last. So if the stock's gone, it's gone. If we find more stock, we'll add it to it. If you're in Napier, come and visit because we've got stuff in here. Like I've got little one-off needle kits and all sorts of weird and wonderful little quirky things in here that are not online. And then we will, as we go, we'll have a good look and see what's left. And if we add anything else, we'll add it to there. Because we've got all this new yarn coming next month and we've got to make room. And the new yarn is freaking gorgeous. Some of it's one-off, some of it's new range. And then we've got stuff especially for Knit August Nights, which is a month away. I know, so much yarn, so little time. Oh, by the way, poncho progress is going very well. I've done about that much. I know. I'm actually quite proud of myself. It's really good. Anyway, I'm going to go. You guys have an excellent weekend and happy stitching. I'll see you Monday. Bye.